guys, so a few days ago I put out a video that I honestly wasn't very happy with. There was just an issue with the audio recording. I had recorded the audio separate from the camera, and there was an issue with the camera. I had no idea that was happening either, so I ended up losing a lot of footage. And to top it all off, I was pretty sick. And I was just like really frustrated and trying to like edit everything and put it all together. Literally, I was just on the verge of like breaking down while I was desperately just trying to find a way to fix everything without having to, re-record everything, because I was just coughing my lungs out and it was terrible. The day that I intended to upload was coming up really quickly. I just started really doubting myself. I was just exhausted. See, when I started YouTube, I put a lot of effort into learning how to edit, trying to pick up on like tips and tricks, and just trying to figure out how to make videos that were entertaining to you guys, but also it would add value, be of some use for you guys. And I also just wanted to make sure that I spent the time creating like quality content, and I was really excited, that I had successfully, somewhat in my opinion, successfully put out a great first video. That was a step out for me. It was the first time that I had started something that I've been talking about for ages. Initially I was feeling, yeah, this is awesome, like I could totally do this YouTube thing, this would be great. And then when it really came down to it and I was struggling on the second episode, I was thinking to myself, here I am, I'm only on my second episode and I'm already struggling. Like, it's so hard. Nothing was working in between me coughing my lungs out and just wanting to sleep my problems away. I was seriously questioning my personal abilities, but I was also wondering if I made the right decision in starting this whole thing. So my dad got back from work that day and he was just asking, like, how are things going? How's the editing going? And I almost broke down. I was like, Dad, I really messed up. I messed up the audio. This was messed up. That was messed up. Everything is messed up and I don't know how to fix it. He just really calmly just gave me a hug and said, don't worry. It's only your second episode. You've still got a long way to go. That one line changed my entire perspective. Here I was so focused on the fact that I was already messing up only on my second episode, but he helped me to see that I was just starting out. It was okay to make mistakes. It was only my second episode and I still had a ways to go, like a long journey that I had ahead of me in creating. It got me thinking about our journeys as creators, whatever field you're in, or as artists, right? We spend so much time, so much effort, so much hard work, all this blood and sweat that goes into us building up that skill and honing our craft, right? I don't know if you're watching this video and you've been struggling to get over your mess ups, right? Like maybe right now you just feel like you can't draw, you can't create anymore because you feel that if you do it, it's just gonna suck, and maybe when you think about where you want to be and where you are right now, that gap just seems impossibly wide. It's scary and it's painful and it's difficult to move past that point. I just feel like I want to say to you, it's okay. It's okay to feel this way. It's okay to be scared. It's okay to mess up. It's okay to fail. As I was thinking back on this last episode, I was just mentally writing down a list of things that I needed to work on, like things like checking my equipment and setting them up properly. As I was processing that, I realized that it really wasn't such a bad thing to have made those mistakes, because besides the fact that the video is out there for everyone to see, and I have had people send me personal comments highlighting to me the mess ups and the mistakes that I did make, it simply highlighted to me the things that I needed to improve on. And in a small way, I'm leveling up. By recognizing those things, I'm leveling up. And I think that's an important mindset that we should have, right? Going into this, whether you're just starting out or you've been at the grind for a while and it's been hard, to keep at it and to take your mistakes and the not so great work, right? And use that as fuel to make the next one better. About 5 years ago, I just got out of a 1 year art school, and as I was getting close to graduating, I was getting more uneasy. I started spending a lot of time comparing my current work to this one, well, at that point in my life, this one defining piece that I made a couple of months back. And for some reason, I was starting to get like kind of depressed. I felt like a fake. I started falling into this trap where I believed that everything I drew needed to be perfect. It needed to surpass that one piece of work that I did, and anything that I did that was less was trash. And therefore, I was trash. It was hard for me to draw at that point because I was just struggling with all these things. I didn't want to not draw, and so I spent just a lot of time drawing circles and practicing my line work, but I really wasn't creating anything. It's kind of like me just spending hours watching YouTube tutorials and not actually drawing. And that went on for a while, for a few months actually, after I graduated, until I came across this video that someone had made of a quote by Ira Glass. And I'm gonna link that video in the description below, and I think it's a video that everyone should watch, every creator should watch. And he said something that really struck a chord with me. That was that everybody has gone through that exact same struggle, that same personal creative disappointment that I had gone through. And then I've just got to fight through it and create a lot of work, like just to keep creating, to get past that insecurity and that disappointment in myself, and just to keep working, because at some point, whatever you create is gonna be at that level maybe that you wanted to be at all those years ago, right? All that time ago. That's an idea that I've been subscribing to for the past couple of years. I mean, if you're like me, we're not where we want to be at, right? We're still a far way off, and we have to keep working at it and not give up. I feel like I have to say this, but it's okay to mess up and fail, right? It's all a part of this learning process. And I know we've all heard of this phrase, and it's something I used to believe in, and that phrase is failure is not an option. And I don't believe that anymore. I mean, I think it adds unnecessary pressure on our already crazy lives, right? But here's what I think it should say: that failure is an option, but giving up is not. Because I feel that by giving up, we're kind of robbing ourselves of this joy and that satisfaction of getting to that point that we've always wanted to be at. Like, we end up living the rest of our lives wondering, what if? And so I don't know if this speaks to you at all. This was kind of like a video that I put together because I was just thinking about this whole thing, and I felt like maybe there are other people like me who struggle with this exact thing that needs to hear this. And so if you feel that this speaks to you at all, I want to say to you to hang in there. There's still so many things that you've yet to discover in this creative journey, things that you've yet to uncover and to learn and to explore. I want to encourage you to keep going. I truly, truly believe in you. Whatever it is that you have in your mind that you want to do, I believe that you can do it. I just want to encourage you, don't give